Good morning. I got some notes today. I still have to do my homework. And like I said, God is very, very, very important to me. And so I spend a lot of time studying about Him. And there's one thing that I'd like to start out with. I'd like to start out with one illustration and give you another illustration a little later on. Now, if you sent your child to first grade, you wouldn't expect them to come home and start telling you about compound sentences and Einstein's theory of relativity, would you? In first grade, they would probably learn how to read, and that would probably be the main focus of them, right? Well, if you take yourself and put yourself back in Jesus' day, and then look at all the advances that civilization has made since then. We've got the automobile, we've got airplanes and computers, and we even have space stations and things like that. So you have to admit that we are extremely more advanced today than in Jesus' day. So it would make perfect sense that when the Bible was written, it was written for a simpler time. And so, because those people weren't ready to hear all the things about God and His kingdom and what it was all about, the Bible focused mainly on what is right and wrong. Because if you break down the Bible into its simplest form, the only thing that it's telling you is how to live your life and how to respect your neighbors, your family, yourself. And that's basically what God wanted to convey in the Bible. Not wars, not hatred, not divisions, but love for one another. That's what the Bible conveys. And that was a very simple message for a very simple time, because civilization needed time to advance. And so now that we have all these things, I mean, your telephone is a computer. I mean, it does just about anything you want. You can get information from your telephone instantaneously all over the world, and they didn't have that convenience back then. So now that we're advanced, we should, God figured that, we're now ready to hear more of the truth. And so He commissioned His angels to write this book. Some of the authors in this book are Gabriel, which if you listen to previous videos, Gabriel is second in command. Jesus is over him, and then there's Gabriel. He's the most powerful person in our universe. Right? And then Melchizedek. Now, you've read about Melchizedek in the Bible. There's about 4 or 5 spots where Melchizedek is mentioned. You don't know who he is But Melchizedek, as I explained in previous videos, was a class of angels, right? And one of those angels, Macadensha, wrote another Bible, wrote another page in this new Bible. So it was written by angels. And then, you know, this, you talk about the apostles that Jesus commissioned. You know about the main ones: Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, James, Nathaniel, especially know Judas. But did you know about the Alphaeus twins? James and Judas Alphaeus. They were apostles too. You won't find much of anything in the Bible about them. But the Alphaeus twins were kind of sort of simple people like me. They had great faith in Jesus, and they followed him faithfully. And their jobs mainly were to, you know, to minister to the crowds and direct them to where they could sit down and listen to Jesus. And yeah, they had basic jobs, and they did them well. But after Jesus was crucified, they went back to their homes and became fishermen like they were before. But the Bible doesn't tell you about that. And then yesterday I decided that I would tell you about God's government. And you're saying to yourself, what do you mean God has a government? Well, just let me read a list of papers. And there's a paper describing all of these and their jobs. All right, starting with the Paradise Trinity. Then there's the Eternal Isle of Paradise that talks about the Eternal Isle. These papers also talk about the universe of universes, the sacred spheres of paradise, the central and divine universe, the seven super universe, the seven master spirits, the seven supreme spirit groups, the supreme Trinity personalities, the coordinate Trinity origin beings, the paradise sons of God, the paradise creator sons of God, of whom Jesus is a member, the paradise creator sons of God, the Trinitized sons of God, the solitary messengers, the universe power directors. That is just a small list. But when you heard me read that list, you obviously must have been thinking, well, wow. And this is just a small list. If, you know, there are papers describing that God must have a government, right? I mean, this list kind of sort of indicates there is a government, there is organization, there's many different sons of God.